Hey kids, here's a little follow-up on some dexterity exercises we were talking about last week for the left hand. So, one is to just place all of your fingers on a string, on a single string, and then let them go and go to the first finger. So you've either got all of your fingers on the string or just the first finger. And you're just paying attention to, when you release the second, third, and fourth fingers, how much tension they're holding. And what you want to notice is, am I tensing the fingers still as I release them, or can I just let them go? Can I just, as opposed to pulling them away this way or extending them out that way, can I just relax them? And that's why you got to do this slow. Because you really need to take the time to notice and maybe wiggle the fingers around a little bit to feel what they are doing. Because what we want them to do is nothing. That's the ideal scenario. To give them a rest phase, and also, mostly to give them a rest phase so that they're ready to work when we need them. And then, instead of going from all your fingers to one, go from all your fingers to two. And this is slightly more difficult. It's harder to have the independence between your second and third fingers. And what you'll notice that my fingers are doing is that there's just a slight extension. It looks like an extension, like my fingers are extending that way, but it's just because this is flexion and this is extension, flexion and extension. And what's happening is that I'm relaxing the flexion. I'm not holding the flexion as much. And that's what we're paying attention to is, can we let these two go while we still hold these two? And then you do the same thing from all your fingers to your third finger. And this is the most challenging for most people and for me. And it's a great little warm-up or calibration exercise when you pick up the instrument on a given day to remember just where that pesky pinky is. And it can sometimes, for some folks, it'll kind of come and hang out here with its Irish twin, the ring finger. But just paying attention to what that finger is doing or not doing, because we want it to do just as little as possible when it's not working. The other exercise we looked at was this one, where we actually put the first finger on the third string and the third finger on the third string, 2 frets higher, and then the middle finger on the second string in between, and then the fourth finger on the second string, 1 fret higher than the rest, or than the third, I should say. And here, in this one, this creates the situation where you can actually, what's really different about this one is that you can release the third finger all by itself while holding the other 3. And this is very challenging, so you want to go very slowly. But it's the same idea, is that when you release, can you relax it? Can you let it go? Can you make little tiny wiggles with it? And how small can you make them? I could be much better with that ring finger, I just know it. I haven't been practicing this much lately, so apparently I need to get back to it. But it feels a little bit better just having done that a little bit. And then fourth finger, sorry. And it's the same idea, is that you'll notice it looks like I'm extending them a little bit, but I'm really just relaxing the flexion a little bit. As opposed to, if you see your hand doing this, what's happening here is this first knuckle is extending while the rest of the finger is flexing, and that's just putting as much tension as you can possibly put into the finger, and that's why we want to avoid it. As opposed to this excess tension. And it just takes a little bit of time, slow attention, breathing. All right, go forth and shred.